Hello students. Today I will be covering the next topic of the chapter, alternative centers of power. The new name of the chapter is the new centers of power, as per the updated syllabus of CBSE. So today we'll discuss the rise of Chinese economy. Basically, in this topic, we'll understand the journey of China towards being the alternative centers of power. China, officially the People's Republic of China. This country is located in the eastern part of Asia. It is our immediate neighbor. China's economy will grow from 1978, right? So what are the changes that led to the economy grow, or what were the changes that was adopted by China that its economy could grow after 1978? And it is also one of the fastest growing economy of the world right now. It is also being expected that China will soon surpass USA by 2040 and become the number one economy of the world. Being the topmost country in the region, China makes a driver of the East Asian growth. Okay, and then what are the factors that led to the prosperity and growth of China? Population, its productive population, land mass, acquiring the resources, the regional location, and political influence over the region. So we'll move on to the next topic, that is historical background. Historically, what happened in China? So People's Republic of China was established in the year 1949 following the Chinese Civil War. There was a civil war which was going on in China, and with the victory of Mao Zedong, okay, Mao Zedong's party's name was Chinese Communist Party, and the other party was the Nationalist Party. So these two parties were fighting a civil war, and with the victory of the Chinese Communist Party, they established China, People's Republic of China in 1949. Since its foundation, China's economy is based on Soviet model. I've already discussed the two ideologies, capitalism and communism. So China was following communism, and that was the Soviet model. Okay, and China draws a curtain. Okay, China draws a curtain, and it is trying to shut itself from the rest of the world. And all the cutoffs, all the links were cut off, all the ties were cut off from the capitalist world. And they have decided that we will depend on our own resources and we will develop. And then, and for a brief point of time, even Soviet Union helped China. Okay, the model which was proposed by China was focused on agriculture, and the money which they get from agriculture they decided to invest on the industry. So this was the model basically. Agriculture, industry will invest on agriculture, and the money or the access money which we are getting from agriculture will invest on for the development of our industries. All right, so as China has already cut off itself from the outside western countries, there were shortage of foreign exchange in the country, and they were unable to buy the technologies from the west, right? And the model of China adopted after 1949, which is establishment date, and this model was successful in establishing an industrial economy money for a certain point of time. Then we can see the gradual decline of economy, because for a certain point of time they were giving the employment, social welfare was there, even healthcare, education, everything was looked after by the government. Alright, but if you see the growth rate of the economy, it was 5 to 6%, and simultaneously the population was also growing with a growth rate of 2 to 3%. So this, the economy that was rising was not sufficient to look after the population. Okay, and then even the model which they have adopted, that from agriculture the production, agricultural money will invest on industry. Even this model couldn't be successful in the country. Okay, and in the second chapter we have discussed the crisis in Soviet Union, and which was the reason of the downfall of Soviet Union. Same thing happened in China. There was a crisis, similar kind of crisis. All right, and the industrial production was also not growing. All right, and the leadership, we have to credit the leadership in China that took the steps gradually. Okay, they were very quick enough to understand there is a problem in the country. All right, they have understood like this model is not successful, it's not being, all right, it is not going smooth in our country, so we have to adopt certain measures in order to increase our economy. Okay, so we have to credit the leadership of the China. All right, so the Chinese leadership became aware of the downfall. This is one of the reasons. And what happened in the 1970s? What were the decisions taken? This is very important. What were the decisions taken by the Chinese leaders, and who were the leaders, and which leader did what? You have to remember. All right. So what happened in 1972? China re-established its political and economic relations, which they had already cut off in the year 1949 and following years. So what happened in 1972, if you remember, they have re-established the relations with the Western countries and ending its isolation. Okay. And in 1973, there was a Premier Zhao Enlai. What he did, he proposed certain modernizations. Okay, modernizing, bringing reforms in 4 areas. Like what were the areas where the modernization or the westernization, meaning reforming or bringing changes in 4 areas. These were agriculture, industry, science and technology, and military. So these were the 4 areas. Okay, and in 1978, what happened? Deng Xiaoping, what he did, he announced the open door policies and economic reforms. Open door policies meaning we are opening up our relations with the rest of the world. We are ready to start our import and export. We are ready to establish trade relations with the rest of the world. We are opening up our economy for the world as well as for ourselves. Okay, and then it followed its own path. China did not go for the Soviet model. We have discussed the shock therapy. Remember, shock therapy, they were also going through the transition. They were also going through the reforms. But the reforms were abruptly, meaning suddenly, everything, they tried to do everything at a one go. But China, they followed their own model. They did not go for the Soviet transition. They followed their own model, and this was the step by step procedure. First year, they are just reforming their agriculture, and in the second year, they were reforming their industry like this, like privatization of agriculture. Like, now, what is this privatization? Privatization meaning the ownership of agriculture will be transmitted to the private sectors or the industrialists who are ready to buy. Earlier, the ownership was with the state government or the government there. Now the government are just selling off agriculture to the private sectors in the year 1989, and then followed by the privatization of industry in the year 1998. All right. And also remember that the privatization of agriculture led to a remarkable rise. So what happened? There was a rise. Okay, this was the result. What happened after these reforms? Also, you have to remember that SEZ was set up. Now, what is this SEZ? Special Economic Zones. All right, and this is an area where the business and the trade laws are different from the rest of the country. So these are the special zones within the country, and here you will find certain relaxation where the import and the export tariffs are low as compared to the other regions of the country. These are specially designed areas for trade, all right, where you'll find the transport and the connectivity is really nice. Okay, okay. So what happened? These things happened. Special economic zones were set up. And what was the result of these policies? That China could really break away from the stagnation, like the economy was stagnant. But with the help of these reforms, as I've discussed with you people, in the year 1917 is a very crucial time for China. 1970s, remember. And with the help of this reform, what was the result? That China could break away from the stagnation period, and the privatization of agriculture led to a remarkable rise in agriculture production. Okay, and there was high potential saving led to a exponential growth in the, see, they were also having industries in the rural areas as well. All right, so whatever is being produced in the agriculture, they were investing in the industry, rural industries, and it became one of the most favored destination of for FDI. I've already discussed what is FDI in the class. So FDI, why China became the most favored reason? Because the cheap labor, you'll get the labors are quickly, easily you'll get the labors, okay, in China. And the foreign exchange reserve, which allows to make one of the biggest investment in the countries. Okay, the foreign exchanges reserves, like the foreign money, so it is one of the biggest investment. Also, China has accessed to WTO, World Trade Organization, in 2011. I've discussed World Trade Organization like an organization that regulates trade among the different countries of the world. So this is an international organization that is regulating what? Trade among the different countries. So they also try to settle down the disputes. So that is WTO. So they have become a member of WTO, and this portrays what? That China is opening up to the other countries of the world. Okay, and China is ready for the integration of its economy. And also, I'll quickly tell you, is the reform uniform? Was the uniform results could be seen in China or not? Because if you see the Chinese economy, they have improved dramatically. But not everyone in China has received the benefits of the reforms. Okay, so what are the drawbacks of the reforms in China? All right, employment has been risen in China, but nearly 100 million people, they were looking for jobs after these reforms. So these are the drawbacks. All right, even the female employment and the condition of work was as bad in Europe during the 18th and 19th century. So this is the second drawback. Female were not getting employed, and even there was environmental degradation and corruption. All right, and even there was inequality among the rural and the urban areas. But we don't have to forget the bigger picture, where we can see China growing regionally as well as globally. And you have to also mention China's relation with some of the countries. All right, we have to mention China's relation with the regional countries of Asia, like Japan, India. All right, we have to mention there, like they are having trade relations now. All right, and China is also trying to establish good relations with the countries of ASEAN. I've already discussed, Russia. So these are the influential countries that China is having a trade relations. Though politically they have tensions, but economically their relations are going well. Okay, and then we have to see the region that is mentioned in your book, that is Taiwan, which China claims to be its own territory, right? And they are also trying to integrate the economy. Okay, and then you have to mention the relations of China with Latin America and Africa as well. So this is it for the topic, and I'll also discuss the cartoons. All right, the cartoons at the end, all the cartoons I'll incorporate into one video I'll make a video and I'll discuss the cartoons of these chapters as well. Alright, so thank you.